I woke up once again to the children knocking on the bedroom door. I sighed and took a moment to mentally prepare myself for whatever it was they were going to have me do before opening it to Abraham and Louise's foreboding gazes. "Alright, where do I need to drive us today?" I asked them. "There's no need for all that," Abraham replied. "We need you to come down with us to your basement." "Really? Well, it's about time I find out what you two have been up to down there."
"You aren't going down there yet. We need to wait for our parents to come back. They should be here soon."
"Finally, they'll take you both home and I'll be done with this." While I was waiting for Eliza and Norman to arrive, I went downstairs to get some breakfast. As I was plating up the bacon and eggs, I heard a knock at the door. I answered it to find Eliza standing on my porch.
"Hello. How have you kids been?"
"Like perfect little angels," I replied, making no attempt to hide my heavy sarcasm in my voice. "Where's Norman?"
"He's in the car. Actually, can you open your garage? We brought something that we wanted to show you privately."
I knew that what she was referring to wasn't going to be anything good. I opened the garage and closed it once Norman was inside. "What did you guys bring?" I asked him after he stepped out of the car. He took me to the trunk and opened it. Inside was a man and woman, tied up. "Why did you do this?" I asked, starting to panic. "Someone will be looking for them. Who are they anyway?" "They did something to hurt our family," Norman said.
"We couldn't have that, so we tracked them down and brought them here."
"I see. Well, I'm probably going to end up needing to move after this, so what are you going to do to them? Ritual sacrifice?"
"No, nothing like that. We have something else in mind for them."
The kids led us to the basement. There I was finally able to find out what the stuff was being used for. The body parts of the corpse I stole were scattered inside a large pentagram made of salt with some runes, drawn with chalk, and the candles, they were lit in it. The items I had collected were within its circumference. At the center was the chicken. She was sitting on top of her eggs in an old basket I kept in the basement. Eliza and Norman had the people they kidnapped with them. I don't know what they did to them before coming to my home, but they seemed unable to move despite being awake. They were put in the circle with the chicken between them. Eliza, Norman, and the kids then joined hands. "Step back, please," Norman told me. I did as told while they began chanting. The people they kidnapped looked at me with desperation in their eyes. I could only give an apologetic shrug in response. There was no way in hell I was going to interfere knowing what this family was capable of. I know that sounds cowardly, but don't act like you would be any more effective if you were in my place. Anyway, when they started chanting, the other items began levitating and rotating. Norman and the rest of his family shot the inky stuff from their mouths at the same time. It went towards the couple and enveloped them. When it did, the candles' flames began flaring up. They were so high I'm surprised they didn't burn my ceiling. While the flames did no damage to my things, they still gave off an intense heat. Actually, saying they did no damage isn't accurate. Even though no damage was done to things outside the pentagram, the flames did affect the things inside it. That is, except for the couple, the mirror, and the sketchbook. Then again, they were covered with the inky stuff, which made it hard to tell, but the muffled screams I heard might have been some kind of indicator. I noticed the mirror was starting to ripple. I could see the faces of two people in it, a man and a woman, presumably another couple. The black stuff stretched and covered the mirror. When it did, the flames went back to normal. Eliza and the others made the black stuff go back into themselves. However, not all of it did. A small portion of it went to the sketchbook. When it cleared, I saw the man was in the mirror and the woman was in the sketchbook. The man pounded on the mirror as some shapes began moving behind them. Even though I couldn't hear what he was saying, the pained expression he made when the shapes grabbed him spoke volumes. I glanced at the sketchbook and realized the woman didn't have it much better. She had a pained expression as well. The shapes surrounding her were drawn, which made them easier to identify. I saw some creatures resembling alligators, lions, sharks, and wolves, All of them were chomping down on her. I looked at the couple's bodies on the floor, and they were unchanged. Should we burn them? I asked. Burn us? Why would you do such a thing? The man on the floor asked. Before I could reply, he and the woman sat up. Their eyes had become black like Norman's, and the others were. Abraham and Louise smiled. Anybody mind filling me in? I asked. These are our grandparents, Abraham said. Seriously, on your mom or dad's side?
Mine. Sorry for taking so long, Mom and Dad.
Oh, don't worry about it. You got us free as quickly as you could, Eliza's dad said.
Who is this?
Her mom asked, referring to me. He's the kid's babysitter, Norman told them. Yep, that's me, I said. Does this mean I'm finally done with that? Speaking of which, indeed you are. We just need one more thing before we leave. Help us get the gifts in the car. Gifts? Yes, as part of the ritual, we needed things relating to Eliza's parents' interests. And they like chickens? Well, I happen to be a bird lover, Eliza's dad said to me. Now, if you would be so kind. He gestured towards the chicken and the other stuff in the circle. I helped gather it while avoiding the chicken, who glared at me the entire time. Soon everyone was gone, except for Norman and me. What are you going to do with these? I asked, holding the mirror and the sketchbook up. Let me see those. I handed the mirror and sketchbook over to him. He tore out the page that had the woman drawn in it and flipped it to the other side, which was blank. Norman held it over the mirror. The reflection, which had the man trapped inside, began sketching. It latched onto the paper. When it pulled away, I saw the man was now also in the drawing, similar to the woman, and the mirror looked normal. So close, yet so far. I say it's a fitting punishment for messing with us, Norman said. You can keep this for a souvenir. Let it be a reminder to you what happens to those who bring harm to us. Oh, and before I forget, this is for you. He pulled out a large sum of cash and handed it to me. The amount he gave me almost made up for all the psychological damage I've received. I saw him out my front door and into his car. Although I am relieved to see them go, something they said has me worried. It was that since they thought I did a good job, they may want my services again. With that in mind, I am moving as soon as I can because screw that. One more thing before I conclude. Though I feel as if I have a moral obligation to help the couple trapped in the sketch. Call me crazy, but the idea of leaving them trapped in internal torture does not help my issues mentally. In that regard, I am open to ideas of how to help them. There is one positive thing I can take away from this, however. With the money I was paid, I won't need to work again for a little while, and I really need a break from all this after, moving and helping the couple. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Perhaps click the bell for notifications, and remember, hell is empty, and the devils are here.